Mic check 1 2 1 2. Mic check 1 2 1 2. We in the building. We live. What's good? What's good?
Yo,
How we
we
doing?
live. We live, brother.
Man, how you doing, man? We got your Dallas Cowboy gear on. I got my Atlanta Hawks / Michael Jackson stuff on. What's going on, everybody? It's a mic check Monday. We are in the building. Shout out to camera guy Ron over here on the side. Russell Wilson plays for the Pittsburgh Steelers now. We'll just start it off like that, right?
Let's do it. I mean, I got my Dallas fit on. You know what I mean? It's the first day of free agency. And Russell Simmons. I said Russell Wilson is a Dallas.
Russell Simmons is in Bali. He's not going to be in the NFL. And I say that respectfully.
I love a Pittsburgh Steeler. What you think about that, Mike?
I think we're just gonna have to see, man. I'll say this, man. Like, I had high hopes for Russ when he went to Denver, and I had him on my fantasy football team. I picked him up, and it was to the detriment of my fantasy football team. It took me 2 years to actually recover from that. And I never thought that Russell would be that inconsistent. I never thought that Russell would play that poorly. So at this point, I mean, I just don't know. I will say this. This right here is for his Hall of Fame chances. Because if he goes out here and stinks this one up, they're going to make it where Russell's not a Hall of Fame.
Well, first of all, this is Mic Check Monday. We forgot to intro the show.
Yes.
Welcome. According to Hip Hop Presents Mic Check Monday. Check us out every Monday. It's a totally different show than what happens on Wednesday. That's with Coop, A2HH Live. This show is a little bit more informal. We're going to talk about hip hop. We're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about things. We're going to do a review at the end of the show of the LawnMower Man on Tubi. But we're going to start off with Russell Wilson.
Tubi reviews.
Russell Wilson is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. I think it's a good move. I think that
for him or the Steelers?
I think for both. I mean, because last year they had terrible QB play, right?
Right.
They went to the playoffs. They were 10-7. This is the last year of Mike Tomlin's contract. They got some weapons. They got Najee Harris. They got some outside receivers. They got a defense that's getting a little old. But I think this may put them back in the playoff contention. But you do have Joe Burrow coming back to the Bengals. That's going to be a wrinkle. You got the Ravens in the division, and you got Deshaun Watson coming back. But I think this gives them a chance to win the North. I'm liking it. I'm feeling it.
Oh, yeah, there's going to be some hip-hop talks, too, guys, for the people who are just joining us. I had an interesting conversation today with a younger cat, not to jump around too much, but he didn't think that Chris Bosh was a Hall of Famer, which I disagree with. But he asked me a question, and I was like, I don't know. He was like, is Jimmy Butler a Hall of Famer?
I would have to say, Mike, that first of all, the young cat. How young was the cat?
He was born in 03, so he was born when Bosh was drafted. So, I mean, he probably doesn't totally know Bosh's whole resume like that. Y'all in the chat saying Bosh is not a Hall of Famer? No, people in the chat are saying Bosh is not a Hall of Famer. I think y'all are short-changing.
I don't think they watched Bosh play, because if Bosh in Toronto was on a trajectory, and without Bosh, you don't win those championships in Miami.
You know, and it was proven like Boston was about to beat them when Bosh was out, and Bosh came back and they won. I mean, it's what it is.
I think Pat Riley said it. Dwayne Wade said it. Alonzo Mourning said it. Eric Spoelstra said it. The most important, I think even Udonis Haslem said it. The most important person on that Heat team was Chris Bosh.
Well, that's not true. I understand what they mean to a degree. He was the third most important person, but he was still very, very important. No one's more important than LeBron James in that piece. Now that's just Pat Riley and them throwing shade, man.
Without Bosh, they don't win. But let's jump back to Russell Wilson. What do you think? What do you think? He's at playoffs. You think if he does well, he'll do one of those Baker Mayfield joints and he'll sign on for some more years, or you think this is a 1 year deal?
All right, I'm just gonna be completely honest here, and I'm gonna do like I do with music. Based on what we've seen over the past 2 years, I have no reason to believe that Russell Wilson's gonna go in there guns a-blazing. I think this is it. I think that he's gonna go in there, and with the Steelers having the legacy that they have, even though they don't have the best team right now, he's gonna go in there and underperform, and this might be his last stop.
Man, I hate to hear that, man.
I'm just going to be honest here. I mean, based on the past 2 years, I have no reason to think differently. It's just like when I tell Coop about, or what I was telling him about, Kendrick leading up to Mr. Morale, like it was nothing that made me feel like something fire was coming. And I feel the same way with Russell. Like there's no level of momentum that makes me feel like he's about to go in there turning up. Like, why would I feel that way?
Well, he has to redeem himself, right? He has a beautiful family. He's got some children. He's got a lovely wife. And I think he doesn't want to end on this note. He talked to Brandon Marshall a couple of weeks ago on I Am Athlete.
He's going to a great organization, though.
He wants 2 more Super Bowls. So I'm thinking, he can get at least one.
A Super Bowl? What? Wait a minute. That's too much, man. That is not happening. Now that I can say a definitive no. Now maybe he can come through and have a serviceable time over there where he can go out on a good note. But a Super Bowl, I don't know about that.
Well, we'll see. But let's jump to some music, man. I know the people in the chat. I want to start off, Mike, if you will allow me. I want to retract something I said.
Oh no, yeah. Start with the Lupe slam.
Last week, I was Mike was kind of rushing me last week, and I couldn't really get my thoughts off the way I wanted to get them off, right? So I said a statement. I said that Lupe didn't have any classic material. So I want to retract that. That is actually factually inaccurate. This is a hip hop podcast. This is the mic check. It's a different podcast than A2HH Live, but I want to say I am a hip hop head. I understand my music. I misspoke. Mike was rushing me. I couldn't get into I couldn't get into my take like I wanted to. What I was saying is, I do understand that Food and Liquor is a highly regarded album. I understand that The Cool is thought of as a highly regarded album. I personally enjoy those albums, but when we talk about classic, and you all were around, and Mike, you were around Hip Hop 50 Conversations. You and Coop did a lot of lists, and all those lists, I never heard any Lupe albums, The Cool, Food and Liquor included, on those lists of classics. It wasn't even mentioned.
The Cool was in our 2000.
But I'm talking about overall top 25, top 50 lists. I didn't see it. So that's the point I was trying to make. And the point I was trying to make is Lupe is great. Lupe has a great catalog. But when people start talking about the greatest and the best, I rarely hear that. And maybe I'm wrong, Mike. You tell
Dumb
me.
it down, dumb it down. Listen, listen. I am not a Lupe hater. I love Lupe's material. I think Lupe's an incredible lyricist. I rock with drill music in Zion. I think, and I was telling Ron this, and not to cut you off or anything, Ron, but I think that from the era that we came up in hip hop, we're kind of jaded by how superstars and how much radio and television come into play with some of the people that were very big for us in our formative years. Lupe came around during a time where the industry was in flux, and you can't measure his impact the same way that you measure Lil Wayne's impact, or the same way you measure Biggie or Jay, or even Ice Cube's impact, because he came around during the beginnings of the digital era, before the digital era even got its footing. I truly believe Lupe comes around during the Kendrick and Cole times. From a mainstream publication standpoint, things are different. Lupe did everything right. I remember hearing Lupe for the first time on those Arista snippets that I used to get when I was in radio. Man, this had to be like '02. And he was rhyming over the that record off the Dynasty, You, Me, Him, Her. And I was like, who is this? And so he's always had it. And I think that they threw him in a backpack lane. Well, that wasn't even the lane for him either. You know what I'm saying? Like, you remember when they made him go out there? I won't say made him. You know, when VH1 used to do those hip hop honors or whatnot, and he went out there and did they had him do like the scenarios, like a tribe tribute, and he messed up or something. And then his response was like, yo, I ain't even really listen to Tribe growing up. I was more Spice One and 8 Ball and MJG. When he said that back then, I was like, yo, man, what's he talking about? Like, I was offended as a Tribe fan, but now knowing that Lupe has this super memory, this nigga didn't forget this stuff. He was bucking against the system that they was trying to put him in this in this corner and put him in this box to say, you're the conscious guy. He probably at that time was like, yo, man, why can't I do the tribute to Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre?
Right, right. So he didn't want to be boxed into as a conscious cat, as some loop backpack rapper. He wanted to be thought of as an overall versatile MC that kind of dug all types of the genre, right?
And I think that the industry threw him in a lane that didn't even exist anymore. And I think that's how he kind of gets overlooked by, some of us hip hop fans that kind of look at some things on a broad spectrum too.
So you're saying Lupe is a victim of timing. You think that
I think so.
if he came out, was it 2 or 3 years later, he would be thought of differently?
I think he set the tone for what the industry ended up doing with Kendrick and Cole.
Right.
And I think he wasn't able to benefit from, some of the things, the trails that he blazed. You remember back when we were in band, me and Ron actually were in band together in high school. And we used to try to play stuff off the radio. And we had a band director, Mr. Johnson, shout out to him. He wouldn't let us play any of this stuff. But we used to go out there, get in trouble, play stuff off the radio, get sent to the bus and all of that. And 2 years later, they ended up hiring a black band director, and those, based on some of the things that we set at that time, and they were able to play whatever they wanted. But we weren't able to see that. You know what I'm saying? Because we set the foundation, and weren't able to basically ride off of the road that we set. I think that's kind of what Lupe is when it comes to, the people that came after him.
I see that. I see that. So, yo, again, I want to apologize for last week. Y'all getting at me in the comments. Y'all was saying, this dude, please don't have this dude back on the show. This dude don't know what he's talking about. But I want to say I apologize. And check this out. We got a feature today. If you guys want to, we'll put the link in the chat. If you guys want to call in, next week we'll have a dial-in number. But if you want to click the link and ask Mike a question and check Mike's mic, you have the ability to do that.
Let's talk about whatever.
I'll put the link in. We'll get that started in the next 10 minutes. We'll get that going. So if you want to chime in on the conversation, talk to Mike D, get his thoughts about any particular topic, we can make it happen. So let's talk about what you want to talk about next, Mike. It's on you.
You said Fat Joe's at the White House. I see that you said something about Fat Joe being a top 20 MC. Um,
Yeah, I mean, everybody saw it last week. Fat Joe was at the State of the Union address. He was
I,
it's part of Fat Joe's recent career arc. If you've taken notice, Fat Joe's been at the White House a lot lately over the
yes.
past year or two. He was he was Vice President Kamala Harris's guest for Hip Hop 50 events. I think what he's doing, Mike, and this is just my thought. I think Fat Joe is setting himself up for a post hip hop career, and he will be running for office in the next 5 to 10 years. I think that's where he's going with it.
Hmm.
What you think about that?
How do I say this?
And let me say this. Let me say this. He started. He's been setting. He's been putting the bait out for a little bit, right? Because remember last year he said his lyrics wasn't true, and he was, it was all 99% fabricated and things like that. He didn't want to. He's kind of distancing himself from his old Joey Crack days. I don't know.
All right, this is what I'm gonna say, and I want to say this as respectful as possible. When I look back on things again as a hip hop fan, I know me and Damaris used to say this a lot. Shout out to Damaris in Chicago, and we were like, "Yo, man, Fat Joe is everywhere. Like he's cutting hair in the Cream video. You know what I'm saying? Like he's next to everybody, and it makes me feel like with some of these political moves moving forward, was this strategic? And was this something that from jump we were supposed to buy into Fat Joe? Because I'm trying to think musically. Why? Because we used to connect to Terror Squad and rock those albums and all of that, and love Big Pun. Big Pun was incredible. But if you ask somebody like, "Yo, what's Fat Joe's best verse?" I mean, can you really pick one? And and as an artist with that level of longevity and who's never really had a hit on his own, everything is kind of collaborative. It makes you wonder, like, were we meant to buy into this individual who wasn't an artist that we bought into organically without him standing next to somebody? And so when you start bringing in the political realms, the conspiracy theorist in me wonders, like, look, were we duped? Were we supposed to just buy into, Fat Joe, the artist or whatever, for something else bigger? Alleged agent type stuff. I don't know. I mean, it's just me.
I don't know. I mean, I've always been a Joe fan, so I like when Big Pun and Joe. I like Don Cartagena. I've always liked Joe. I always thought he was an authentic dude. I heard stories in the industry that Joe was always a stand-up guy. I never heard anything different. He beefed with 50. 50 had a difference of opinion, but I think they squashed their beef. They moved on. But I don't, I wouldn't put that A word on him. You know what I mean?
Why are you a fan of Joe?
I mean, I just thought Joe I liked his music. Even from
what music do you actually like, though?
Like I said, I started liking Joe when Don Cartagena came out.
I like Don Cartagena, Crack Attack. I like the song.
When he started making music with the Runners in that Cool and Dre era, that was pretty. I like that Joe. I mean, I mean, he came in with, and then he got it with Scott Storch, and then started doing the lean back and the commercial records. I didn't really like the What's Love joint with Ashanti in that period. I didn't really like that Joe.
Does he have an identity though? Because it feels like Joe rides waves, and I think that a lot of the times, when East Coast MCs ride waves, we give them passes for it and don't say anything about it. But what
did he bring that?
Does he bring to the game?
He brought that Cool and Dre sound to the game, did he not? I mean,
did he? I thought that was more Ross. I don't know.
Nah, Cool and Dre was rocking with Joe before Ross.
I thought their first hit was "Hate It or Love It." Am I wrong?
We got a mic check that one, bro. We got a mic.
Well, you tell me what Fat Joe record that Cool and Dre broke through with, because I don't know, man. it feels like he rode waves. When it was DITC, it was like he was doing that. You know what I mean? And when it was underground hip hop boom bap, he was doing that. When it was the Flojo thing, he was doing that. You know what I mean? Like, and it's like when Nelly and all those guys come in the game and it's about radio play and Ja Rule doing what he do, it's like, oh, let me do What's Love. Oh, R. Kelly's hot. Let me do that. You know what I mean? It's like, that's cool and all, but when you look at it at the end of the day, like, what exactly did you bring to the game? I mean, I'm just being fair.
He brought Pun to the game. He brought Pun.
Okay, you brought Pun to the game.
He brought Terror Squad to the game. He elongated Scott Storch's career with Lean Back.
You know what I also noticed about Terror Squad? I'm just gonna be completely honest on this mic check real quick, man. Did he ever really put on any Black American artists? Like, all of the people in the Terror Squad look the same. Like, if you had
he put on Remy Ma.
No, he didn't. Pun did. He not gonna get credit for that.
When Pun died,
Pun died.
He could have left. He could have left.
Pun did that.
But he could have left her alone, Mike. He could have left.
Did that. We're not gonna give him credit for that.
Her biggest records are with Joe, Mike. Come on,
she ain't got no records either. I'm just gonna be honest.
But her biggest records that you know her from are with Joe.
They lean on each other. They need each other.
Pun was gone. I mean,
Pun could stand on his own, but Zuri with the super chat says, how is any of that riding waves? That's adapting. See, when New Yorkers do it, it's adapting. How is that not riding waves? It is what it is. We called out LL Cool J for riding waves, man. But at least to the core, LL had a sound when he came out with I'm Bad, when he came out with like radio and stuff like that. He been riding waves from the jump. It was Flojo, then it was, you know what I'm saying, whatever Lord Finesse type sound that was going on. It's riding waves. It's okay.
Shout out to LeRoy Green. LeRoy Green says that Fat Joe, Tool and Dre came in with Fat Joe. See, I know LeRoy Green knows.
I mean, they got the look. They look just like Khaled, look just like Cuban Link. Everybody he signed looks alike.
No,
it is what it is.
Come on, Mike. You stretching, bro. There's no.
You know what I'm saying? If you got the, you know what I'm saying, you got the whole beat nuts look, you know what I mean? He gonna sign you.
He's a Latino artist. I mean,
well, that's fine. And I like their wave and what they were doing. But you know, if you want to run around here saying nigga, 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 and all of this, and act like you did all of this for Black people and Black artists, well, let's look at the people you signed.
Let's get Joe on. Maybe Joe can explain himself.
Man,
but I know Joe. I say Joe's making some moves.
I love the Beat Nuts. Shout out to Jordan House. I'm a big Beat Nuts fan.
I think Joe is making moves. I think he's making moves. I think he's trying to. I think he's gonna make a run. Either for Congress, he'll do that little, Ocasio-Cortez situation, in the Bronx, and he'll start putting his hat in the ring, A lot of
hold on. Somebody say you want Joe to sound the same for 30 years. No, I want him to actually have a sound, is what I'm saying. Y'all can't tell. Y'all want to sit here and defend it. I'm not even being disrespectful. I'm just keeping it balanced, man. At the end of the day, y'all can't tell me your favorite Fat Joe verse. Because if we was talking about any other rapper, y'all niggas would be in the chat talking about one individual verse. Has he ever gotten on a song and had the best verse?
Well, my favorite verse from Joe was on the Go Crazy remix, or the original version with Jeezy and Fat Joe.
Man. Like Buck said, man, I can't tell you how now one of them verses go.
Man, you tripping, dog.
I don't. I mean, I'm just being real, man. Y'all talking like this nigga Jadakiss or something.
Hey, man, does anybody have a difference? I'm gonna put this link.
Jarv, I sound ridiculous, Jarv.
I'm gonna put.
We got to talk about this.
Jarv,
I listen to Rap Roundtable. I ain't never heard y'all talk about Fat Joe like that. Let's keep it real, man.
Hey, I'm about to put the link in the chat. Y'all hop on.
No, I want Jarv to call in, man, because you know what? I'm not saying I don't tap into Joe, because I do. I have the albums. I'm just being honest.
Why all this Joe hate, man?
It's no hate. Why I gotta be like that? I'm keeping it real. Like Cuban. Do you think Cuban Link was nicer than him?
I I know, because Cuban Link is gone and Joe's still here.
When they were on those, because you and I had the Terror Squad out. When
Triple
they
Face?
were on those songs, you're telling me Fat Joe is a better rapper than Armageddon, Cuban Link,
Triple
and
Face?
Pun? He's not.
And Triple Face, right? Triple Face was tight. What was it? Triple Face?
Well, Joe might have been better than Triple Six. Now I give you that. Maybe.
So let's talk about his ranking though. So where is Joe fall? Is he top?
He's not a top 50 MC.
Oh, damn.
He's not. Am I tripping?
Damn. Come on, man.
Who is he better than then?
Joe not better than, oh, come on, man.
Project Pat's better than Joe. Right?
Come on.
He is.
Project Pat's not a top 50 MC.
Well, there you go. If you don't think Pat's a top 50 MC, we'll start there. You're telling me Fat Joe better than Project Pat? He's not. He's not. He's not. He's not. Listen, I will go to any station head, any verses, whatever y'all want to do. Straight up.
Wait a minute.
Straight up. He's not. And you know the truth, Ron. He's not. He's not. He's not better than Pat.
We got a super chat from Jermaine Johnson.
It says Joe's verse on Raekwon the Chef's Clientele Kid was a scene stealer. And that verse was sandwiched between Ray and Ghost. I guess I need to go check that. I'm a big Ray and Ghost fan, and I don't remember him still in the scene from Ray and Ghost. All right,
why you a hater, man?
I'm not a hater. I love hip hop. I'm just keeping it honest, man.
Don Cartagena was a great album, man.
I like Don Cartagena. It was a great album. It was a dope album. But again, he was riding waves. The best songs had people on them. Typical Joe fashion.
I mean, Cuban Link is gone, man. He's not.
Listen, man. Listen. If I get it, Joe has had a better career than Cuban Link. That's clear. But back when Terror Squad was Terror Squad, none of us thought that Fat Joe could out-rap Cuban Link. None of us.
I mean, I have to say Joe's a top 50 rapper. I'm sorry.
How? Who is he better than?
Name some other folks, and I just throw some folks out, and I'll throw some folks out.
Man, listen. You know what?
He's better than Juicy J. That's a fact.
Well, Juicy J's not top 50.
He's better than DJ Paul.
You know what? Listen, man.
Fat Joe can rap better than Ludacris. How about that?
No, he can't.
How about that?
Listen, man.
How about that?
I'm not even going to give you the Juicy J thing.
How about Ludacris? Really? Give me that.
I'm not even going to give you the Juicy J thing. He's not better than 2 Chainz. He's not better than Ludacris. He's not better than Jeezy. And y'all know how I feel about Jeezy. He's not. Tell me he's better than Jeezy. He's not. And if you ain't better than guys like this, you ain't top 50, man. We're not even getting to, I mean, damn, like 7 members of the Wu-Tang off top.
Is he better than Gilly?
Yeah. He's just had a better career than Gilly.
Is he better than my song?
You're naming people who don't have any level of a catalog to match somebody.
Is he better than Joe Budden?
No. He's not.
Come on, man.
He's not better than Joe Budden. You think Fat Joe's better than Joe Budden?
Come on, man.
Nah, that's crazy. Come on, man. He's not better than Joe Budden.
Hey, y'all jump in. I'm about to put the link back in the chat.
Yeah. No. I want somebody to call in.
Call in, man. We're going to try something new today.
Listen, dumb it down. I will admit that Jeezy can't rap like that. Jeezy has built his career on one-liners. He's better than Joe. Joe ain't got no Thug Motivation 101. He doesn't. That's just real. Like, whether y'all think the rapidy rap, crack attack shit is cool, he's not better than Jeezy, man. He's not.
You got Flo Joe. Come on.
Y'all can't even and dumb it down. You a lyrical guy, man. You can't even tell me Fat Joe's best verse. I don't even want to hear you sitting here defending Joe against Jeezy. I could give you some of Jeezy's best verses, and I'm not even a Jeezy fan like that.
Man, I don't know, Mike. You a hater, man.
Listen, man, just like the ludicrous conversation we was had, I want y'all to give me some bars. Since y'all want to sit here and defend Joe like this, where the bars at? Because we want to do that. Where the bars at? That's it.
Hey, Free in the chat said, what's Pat's best verse?
Phew, man, it's so many, man. You know, I would go with like the first verse on We Could Get Gangsta. I could go really with his verse on the Camp Posse song. Personally, his verse on Smoked Out, Loped Out's high. His verse on Nine to Your Dome, no. This nigga would, man, it's not even close. I'm clearly biased here as a Pat fan, but I would love to do a station head against anybody who feels that Fat Joe is a better rapper than Project Pat. I would love that one. I can't wait to talk about that one on Wednesday too, on A2HH Live. But anyway, who else is he better than? Is he better than Bun B? Is he better than Pimp C?
No, he's not.
Okay.
Well, no, he might be.
Is he better than Twister? Is he better than Twister?
Yes, he's better than Twister.
He's not better than Twister. That's crazy, man. No, man. How is Fat Joe better than Twister, man? How?
I mean,
how?
Jealous One Still Envy. You got.
He ain't got no adrenaline rush in his catalog. He ain't got no verse like Po Pimpin' in his catalog. He ain't even got no verse like Is That Your Bitch in his catalog. Is this the end? Come on, man.
We got
y'all hyping Joe up, man. Y'all hyping Joe up.
We got Leroy Green. Leroy Green's about to jump.
Come on there, Leroy. Leroy got the it's the Rock. Oh, he got the pendulum ink hat. I love it. Shout out.
What up, Leroy? What's good?
Yeah.
Your connection. Okay, Leroy's connection.
What's up, brother? How you doing? The whole squad. You hear me?
Sir, man.
Yeah, we hear you, bro. What's good?
How you doing, bro?
What's good? What's on your mind, brother? What's on your mind?
I think Leroy has frozen.
I'm good, man. Oh man, don't let me freeze out here. Am I good now?
Freezing right now.
You gotta get that.
You're good now. And now you're not good.
Hold on, brother.
Go back out, Leroy, and come back in. Go back in and come back in.
They say he got the Rock Nation Wi-Fi fucking him up.
Yeah, buddy. What about now? Am I good now?
I hear you now, but you still kind of.
It's coming in good, Leroy. It's coming
a little better, yeah.
I'm coming in better now. Okay, put me up where I can see y'all.
Okay.
You know?
Yes, sir. Good to see you, man. Welcome to
from the Rock Nation hat. Got the Rock Nation hat. Now I got the Pendulum Ink hat. You know, we're doing big things. I came down to see you in Atlanta, Mike, but you was under the weather, I guess.
Oh yeah, I was fucked up, man. But yes, next time, man. I appreciate you coming down.
Yeah, no, man. It was lit, man. It was lit. I had a lot of fun, but I'm coming back. We got a lot of things in the working on this album, but more on that later. You know what I mean?
And what do you think about this Fat Joe conversation? Am I tripping?
Yes and no. First, I'll start with yes. Why you're tripping?
Okay.
Fat Joe came in the game at like 93 or something. What are we talking about? Okay. Terror Squad.
He wasn't a factor then, though, right?
Huh?
He wasn't a factor in 93.
What you mean he wasn't a factor, Mike?
I mean, a lot of some people might say Exhibit's not a factor. Razzcast's not a factor. You know,
those guys actually can rap, though, man.
You know what I mean? Like Fat Joe is one of them ones, man. I mess with Fat Joe. Like, granted, now he ain't the most lyrical miracle, but with his couplets, though, couplets is 2 lines a piece, you know, at a time. They not bad. And he rides the beat, cool, makes cool little songs. He's not trying to go too crazy. His whole appeal is I'm a street dude. That's his appeal, right? So it's not complicated. It's not like he's trying to be like trying to push a message, but he's like, I'm a street dude. I'm from the Bronx. It is what it is.
So
That's
does he have, I hear what you're saying, but does he have like a street anthem like the street dudes that we know of on wax, like a 50 Cent, or like a Prodigy?
Yeah, but what y'all do, what you and Coop do, love y'all brothers, man. But y'all compare people to the greatest MCs ever. So when you do that, it's like, well, no, he's not 50 Cent. I mean, 50 Cent, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I probably have them somewhere in the same thing. It's just that 50 Cent, he got them big Dr. Dre, that huge classic. He got the mixtapes.
Wait a minute, you got him in the same thing as somebody who made Get Rich or Die Trying? Come on, man.
I gotta say, I kind of do, because my favorite 50 album is Guess Who's Back. That's the album that actually made 50. It's not Get Rich or Die Trying. Get Rich or Die Trying is the one that blew up. What made 50 in the street is Guess Who's Back. Now, Fat Joe, Don Cartagena, and Guess Who's Back, they close, bro. If Fat Joe would have been signed to the Aftermath with Eminem, with Snoop Dogg, with all these people on his records, it would have made Fat Joe look a little bit different. Now, granted,
I tried to be nice about this. He ain't got it like that. Come on, man.
He don't have it at the level of heat, but longevity. Fat Joe was able to remain hotter for longer. It's not as hot as 2003 50. But by the time 2006, 7 came around, 50 kind of started slowing down. He kind of started slowing down. Fat Joe has remained. Fat Joe and Jay-Z, almost like they don't have to be the hottest guys, but they keep their fan base and they keep their position lit for long periods of time, like a lot of years, bro. Fat Joe been out here. John Cartagena was 1998. Then Lean Back was 2004. Then all the way up was 2009. Then, like, dude, he stayed kind of lit. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike.
Come on, man. All right. With all that being said, and him being lit for such a long period of time, what's Fat Joe's best verse?
Man, you know, I like the stuff on Dark Side, but he has a song called Gone, which is, again, you're looking for me to give you some lyrical miracle. That ain't Fat Joe.
I'm talking about a good verse, man. Like, if you ask me what Jeezy's best verse is,
you know the verse from Lean Back?
His third verse on Get Your Mind Right. And he's not a lyrical guy.
Right. So you can't ask me what Jeezy's best verse is, because what are we talking about best? Jeezy's not a lyrical guy. Jeezy's a street guy.
You can still have a best verse though, LeRoy. You know what I mean? Like that. I didn't say his best. I didn't say his most lyrical verse. I said
Jeezy has a best verse. What verse is that?
Birdman has a best verse.
All right, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think all of Jeezy's verses are Jeezy.
He ain't no standout like that. Like, he gets on records with, like, people are naming John Blaze, but it's like he got the worst verse on there, right?
I mean, again, though, Joe is he's capitalizing on I'm a street dude. That's it. That's it. He ain't kicking like, let me show you this. Now, granted, when he was hanging with Pun, though, Pun is the better lyricist. But when Pun was doing his multi-syllabic things, Mike, I like that I'm on Mike check, because we're gonna get into that later. But because it's a lot of lyrical stuff, man, that y'all missing, man. But
people say John Blaze is memorable. It's memorable, but not because of him. You know what I mean? And that's my thing. And it's like,
his song, brother.
Yeah, I mean, listen, man. I mean, if I were able to acquire Nas, Big Pun, Jadakiss, and Raekwon to be all on one song, I'm pretty sure I have a memorable song too in 1998.
Bro, you like Don Cartagena. Don Cartagena.
I've known Mike for almost 30 years. Mike liked Don Cartagena.
I do. I never said I did.
The album. I burned you a copy back in 9th grade, bro. You know,
yeah. I never said I didn't. But when I step back and look at who Fat Joe has been his career, and the fact that I can't pull out some of his best verses and the fact that he's never gotten on a record with heavyweights and actually had the best verse, or one of the best 2 verses, and he's constantly riding waves, I have to sit there and think objectively, where is this guy really?
I got to get on y'all about this wave thing, riding waves. Okay. Now, I'm not mad at the perception of that. Let's say you want to have a career in rap. You don't want to be around 1 year, 2 years. You want to be around 5 years or 7 years or 8 years. In that time period, you probably should learn how to ride a wave. Let me tell you why. Because your phone is going to be ringing and people are going to say, we want songs. What are you going to say? Oh, no, I can't do it because that sounds like a wave. You could say that, but who are you really hurting? Yourself? Or who are you really hurting? Them or yourself?
Oh, well, you know what? To that point, LeRoy, speaking of phones ringing,
yeah,
who actually calls Fat Joe for a verse? Or is he calling other people to get on his shit?
Well,
He's blowing up Fat Joe.
Jeezy called Fat Joe for a verse. He did on the Go Crazy remix. Cracks, Life.
Christopher Hogan with the super chat.
Oh, you wanted to cut me off, bro?
Lord. No, I was just going to the super chat. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, Jeezy's verse is real. Real is back intro is his best verse. Actually, that verse that Jeezy had on what's his name? The one last year, that was a pretty decent verse too. I mean, do people really call up Fat Joe for features?
Huh?
Do people really call up Fat Joe for features like that?
They should call Joe not for features, but they should call him for full out records and hooks. They should be calling him because
Jordan said what I was thinking. He said Joe gets calls when someone's trying to get some East Coast placement for the low. That is a discount East Coast placement right there.
It all works, man. The object of the game is you're trying to make music that impacts. That's it. That's it. So if you're not the lyrical guy, you still got to do the job. If you're not the best verse guy, you still got to do the job. If something's happening that's not your wave, like right now is the Atlanta wave. I'm not mad at the Atlanta. I'm a boom bap guy. But how do I survive in the rap game when Atlanta is the peak? I better learn how to do some trap, right? That's a wave. I'm a boom bap dude.
Though.
But again, if I want to make some noise,
I like this guy, LeRoy.
But LeRoy, how many waves? We're talking about waves from FloJo, from Digging in the Crates crew to whatever the hardcore shit with Mobb Deep, and then you got the waves with Murder Inc. And then you got the Just Blaze wave that was going on too, right? That you're attaching to, and then the Scott Storch wave. It's a lot, man. And then the Down South wave that was going on.
He made Scott Storch kind of hot because Scott Storch was with Dre, but Dre was always in the front. When Joe said Scott Storch's name on Lean Back, did he not?
He did.
Yeah, you said his name.
I heard of Scott Storch before then, but hey,
maybe we heard of him. Yeah, we heard of him. But I mean, again, people don't have to ride waves, and I get it. I respect the craft of because if you're going in the studio to do another style that's not your style, that takes a lot of effort, and I respect the effort. Now, people are gonna say that's your wave riding, but I respect someone jumping out of their comfort zone. You know, if I'm doing a record, it's going to be some lyrical stuff. But if somebody says, hey, let's go to the club, let's make something for the females, I respect the challenge of stepping out of your comfort zone.
Okay, so you say Joe's not a lyrical guy, he's gangster rapper or whatnot. Yeah. Where do you think he ranks in the, I guess, in the realm of those type of MCs even?
I think he probably ranks pretty high because because if I pick better gangster rappers, which I could, but like their longevity again, you know what I mean? Joe's longevity is going to surpass them. Like T.I. is a better gangster rapper. Jeezy, I think he's about neck and neck with Joe because Jeezy was really, really hot. you know, we praise a lot of people and they deserve the praise. Don't
Joe's never been that hot though. We got to
No.
give Jeezy credit for that.
No, but Joe, but Jeezy, you're from Atlanta. I'm from California. BMF guys was running around California that I knew them personally. We know that Jeezy had that connection with BMF, and it kind of blew. But it was because of the music was good, but it's also because we're seeing these real guys buying up everything, and we're like, who are these guys? You know what I mean? That had a lot to do with it. Street team, promotion, all that stuff had a lot to do with it. Jeezy was super hot. By the time the 4th year of his career came around, it wasn't like Joe would lean back. Lean back.
Fat Joe's better than Gucci Mane?
I think so, but I don't listen to Gucci Mane a lot, so I'm I don't know. But
Zuri with the super chat says, "How was DITC a wave? He was the most known one."
Right, Big L was on there too. Big L.
Eminem was in DITC, right?
No, what are you talking about?
No. He was in.
You talking about the Outsiders?
Outsiders. I'm sorry. Well, yeah, Outsiders. I'm sorry. My bad.
Yeah, that was Lord Finesse and
But
the Crazy Crew.
What makes DITC, no diss to Lord Finesse, super awesome. Big L, super awesome. But it's Fat Joe whose celebrity kind of pulled DITC. It was because
Big L's.
Big L died already.
But at the time though, there was this aura that Big L had where it was like, we missed out on the next big thing. This was the guy who's the biggest what if. And I remember the DITC album and his whole promotion, that whole Big L rest in peace was big for that. You know what I mean? So, and Diamond D is Diamond D. But I feel what you're saying, with Joe, again, I felt like he blended in. I wasn't listening to DITC for him. I just knew he was there. You know what I mean? And I knew that he was adjusting. He was constantly adjusting and constantly adapting. And adapting is cool. It's kind of like how y'all talk about like guys like Brock Purdy or whatever. People constantly talk down on Brock Purdy. He's a game manager in many people's eyes. He doesn't flash in ways that, other quarterbacks do, but he's very efficient. He's very accurate. But that's how I look at guys who just constantly adapt. Like, show me the moment when you're the guy. You know what I mean? Show me the moment when you're the innovator.
No, Fat Joe held it down though. Fat Joe, listen to them songs with Big L and Fat Joe. Fat Joe held it down. Fat Joe.
I'm not giving him passes because he's a New York MC. I think that's what it is. I think if Fat Joe was from Missouri, we wouldn't even talk about him being ranked anything.
Well, he would never got a record deal from Missouri, Mike. Right.
If Fat Joe, let me not be as tongue in cheek. If Fat Joe was from Los Angeles, California, we wouldn't be talking about
him. Nah, because he'd be running with the alcoholics. He'd be running with,
He can't rap with those guys.
He'd be running with,
Exhibit will rap circles around Joe. Roz Styles will rap circles around Joe.
Fat Joe made better records than Exhibit in the long run.
He had a longer career. He had a longer career.
Exhibit made better records in the late 90s, early 2000s. But in the long run,
he had a longer career than Exhibit, Mike. Come on, man.
He has a longer, bland career. More so. Look.
No, Mike, check this out.
I'll take Exhibit's 3 albums over Joe's career.
Can Exhibit do a versus? Could Exhibit do a versus? No.
Look, if you wanna do Exhibit versus
I'm asking you a question. I'm asking a question. Can Exhibit do a versus in the format that is currently constructed in?
Against Fat Joe, yes.
So Exhibit got 20 joints.
Against Fat Joe, yes.
Come on, B.
Like sometimes you're looking, according to hip hop, is looking to give the praises to the stars and the legends, and I appreciate that because they deserve that. But not everybody can be a legend like that or a star like that. Sometimes a person just has the fundamentals right. Fat Joe may not be he ain't no lyrical miracle, but he has a lot of the fundamentals. He has the charisma to deliver a line, even though it may not be a crazy line. He has the authenticity to where if he says, "Look, I'm a G," you believe that. Okay, this is really a street guy. He has the leadership qualities to lead a team.
I can't put him over the guy that made Paparazzi and What You See Is What You Get. I can't. I just can't. Like as an artist, it's like I can't, man, because it's a lot easier to just get on records and adapt than to come with concepts of your own. I'm sorry. I mean, I guess as an artist, as a creator, I can't do that. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, "Nah, Joe don't have no Thug Motivation 103, Jeezy's album last year."
He got those. Y'all don't listen to Fat Joe's music like that. Come on now, come on in the chat.
Why?
Y'all don't listen to Fat Joe like that. Come on, this is me. Come on, man.
Me? I do. I listen to Fat Joe.
If you listen to Fat Joe's music, you would see that on every one of them albums, there are gems in there. There are gems on those.
DJ Tim Space King with the super chat says, "Fat Joe, safe to say, the incredible." I love that record, but again, a lot of people feel like that's Just Blaze remaking PSA.
That record is crazy, bro.
Stop the Presses, I'm back. Cook that is crack. It's like going for a week. This is
yeah, So Much More. That was crazy.
That's one of my favorite records. So Much More.
You know, ain't been as much hype since that Nas and that whole shit.
That shit was crazy.
There you go, Mike.
Because of the beat. Because of the beat.
The Belly soundtrack, remember the Belly intro when Nas DMX walking through the club? He did that song with Jeezy, remixed that beat, crazy. The song with J-Lo, crazy. He had one with Action Bronson, also over DJ Premier. Every time Joe touches down with DJ Premier, it's insanity.
Now I do like that white that he did with DJ Premier.
That white insanity, bro.
Hey, LeRoy, I think you turn the mic around. I think the people turn the mic around.
No, I'm just giving credit where credit's due.
You started off trolling, Mike, but now you starting to see.
No, I'm still
one of them ones. Low key, he's one of them ones. Cool and Dre, he did come in with Cool and Dre because, again, even though Cool and Dre was already moving with Trick Daddy, Pitbull, Fat Joe is saying their name on record. He's saying Cool and Dre before the beat drop. So with him saying their name, or Scott Storch, or you know what I'm saying? He's, bro.
Is he top 50, LeRoy?
Top 50? Yeah.
Easy.
All right, I'm about to, you know what? This is what I'm when we're done with the show. I'm gonna list 50 MCs that I got over Fat Joe. And I'm gonna say this respectfully.
So check this out. Mike, do that next week and then put your list together. And then LeRoy, we're gonna bring you back on next Monday. And then you and Mike D will go back and forth about this 50 MCs better than Joe Trash that Mike gonna put together.
He might be in the 40s. But
you sound nervous.
No, but 50 is a lot of guys. Come on now, 50. That's a lot of MCs
with ease. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, Joe created the biggest club anthem that ladies love, and that street dudes and killers feel comfortable to dance to. That's hard to do. I didn't know he made in the club.
No, he talking about Lean Back, right?
He talking about Lean Back, Mike. Come on, man. Stop trolling, bro.
Man, please. Yeah. You know what? Lean Back ain't like that. I'm sorry. I just gotta keep it real, man. It's not. Lean Back is not.
Lean Back is not like that.
Hey, man, I know Mike.
No, you do know me. I never fucked with Lean Back.
We've been out many a times, enjoy Lean Back, bro.
No, man. Lean Back ain't like that.
Is crazy.
No, it's not. It's
crazy record.
Again, man, Joe is not like, when you listen to Fat Joe, it's not about let me hear some bars that's dope. It's about let me hear the record. It's him plus the beat plus the hook. That's Fat Joe. Because he ain't gonna wow you just on bars or persona. It's the hook. And you know, I was talking to I talk to a bunch of MCs all the time, and I'm saying before you even say a word, the beat gotta already grab people. Before you even say, yo, the beat already, and Fat Joe is is top of the line with that. He don't got to say nothing. As soon as the beat come on, he just look at you.
So it's the beat. Does he even have any? No. We talk about this on. We talk about this on A2HH Live all the time. And you want to talk about bangers and talk about these anthems and this and that. Does he even have any iconic one-liners? Does he even have any opening lines that match with his counterparts that have made these iconic anthems? No, he doesn't.
Half the squad, half the team got a scar on their face or something. Like, you know what I'm saying? But come on, man. That's not to me. To me, that's some New York, Puerto Rican slashing face stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's some real shit, bro. That's a
a thing. That was a thing in New York for a while. You know what I mean?
We gotta get on to the next thing, LeRoy. I appreciate you stopping by, man.
My brother.
Yeah.
Next week, LeRoy, hop on. Mike's gonna try to come together with 50 MCs better than Joe.
Lupe, my guy Lupe. Okay. I mean, I don't know Lupe, but you know Mickey is my guy. That's my brother.
Yeah.
Lupe is the X factor. Okay. He don't even make it to no list. He's not in the top 10. He's 0. Lupe is 0 because you can't even scale Lupe. How do you put Lupe on the scale? The only thing you can mention fame and popularity. When it comes to skill, though, when it comes to raw skill,
he might be the most skilled.
He might be the most skilled MC ever.
Very impressive, man. It's impressive.
Now, he don't think so about himself. He's a humble dude, but
no,
he might be the most skilled.
Real got to recognize real on that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, man. Next week, come holler at us, bro.
Yes, sir. I'm here.
Peace.
OG Weston says, Mike, Fat Joe or Pastor Troy? Pastor Troy. Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, if Fat Joe was from Houston, he would be 0. Zuri with the super chat says, Joe is a top 5 ATL artist if he was born there. LOL. No, he's not. He's not, man. I mean, listen, man, give me the one-liners, guys. Like, we talked about this before. When we talk about great all-time anthems, man, like those first couple bars, everybody got them. You know what I mean? Like, even if we go to Made You Look, it's like, now let's get it all in perspective. All y'all enjoyment, a song y'all can step with. Y'all appointed me to bring rap justice. He ain't got that, man. He don't. Mr. Moore with the super chat says, Joe is the epitome of mid, LeRoy. Put down the pipe. Okay.
Hey, Mike, what I want you to do, man, next week, you come up with that list, man. You ain't gonna find 50 niggas better than Joe.
Man, I already got it in my head right now, man.
Well, next Monday, I don't want to beat this Joe thing to a dead horse. Let's pivot, man. We've been talking about Joe. We've been talking about Joe. Let's go to
we gotta get going. Yeah.
Let's go to a sports topic. Last week, it was announced that Mike Tyson and Jay Paul will be fighting in July in Dallas, Texas. What you think about that, bro?
I don't like the exhibitions, man. Like, I mean, when we saw Tyson fight Roy Jones, Tyson didn't even go out there and really fight. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it.
What you mean you don't want to see it?
I don't, man. Like, you know, Tyson's Tyson, and yeah, it at this point, what are we expecting to see exactly? We're not going to see a good fight.
I mean, do you expect Tyson to lose, or what do you? I mean, what do you?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what I know what I'm gonna expect. I expect these guys to really not go full out. I expect it to be for the cameras. Somebody may take a dive who I don't know, but it doesn't seem like a real fight. Yeah, like, why is this happening?
Well, you know why it's happening, Mike. It's happening because of money.
Of course. It's entertainment. But, you know, as far as the sport goes, though, I don't want to see that. I mean, like, do I really want to see, like, 60-something-year-old Michael Jordan go out there and play against a college player? Like, I don't.
I don't know.
Like,
I'm debating whether I should go to Dallas and check it out. Shout out to all my Dallas folks. But I, just to say I went to a Mike Tyson fight because when Mike was in his prime, we were young. So it was like we can go.
Yeah, it could be a nostalgic thing, but yeah, nah.
You ain't feeling it? You not gonna have a fight party?
Nah. Nah, I mean, yeah, I'm with LeRoy. I'm not fighting Mike Tyson. I don't care if he's 80 years old, but as far as like, from the viewing public, like I don't know. It's I wanted to watch him and Roy Jones fight, and
he looked like he's in shape. He looked like he's in shape, man. You see him right on the screen.
Now, he looked like he was in shape then too, but I think he was pulling back and holding back. So yeah.
All right, I'm gonna check it out, man. I think I'm either gonna go to Texas to see it, or I'm gonna go, have a fight party. I think this is
right.
You're invited. Some of our Court and Hip Hop audience, y'all are invited to the party. We might live stream it. We might do a live stream that night. Do like a play-by-play. What I mean, are you an ageist, Mike? Is it because his age? What is it? You don't?
It's because of what I saw in the Roy Jones exhibition. Like, I was like, nah, I don't want to see this. Like, I don't. Now, I give you this though, like when Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins fought when they were old, that was entertaining. It was a good fight.
Oh, that was a good
fight. But this, I don't want to see.
No. So you're not a fan. Let's get back to some music, man. There's a couple albums that got announced last week. What are your thoughts on the Metro Boomin and Future collabo album again coming out?
Well, Coop and I have been talking about this for a second. Hopefully it actually drops. I mean, these guys have been flirting with the idea of it actually dropping. And I mean, at this point, we just need to hear it. They've been talking about this album for over a year now. And
it's two albums, right? It's two.
Is it?
I thought in the press release they said they got one coming now and one coming in like a month from now.
Oh, okay. I mean, if they hit us with it back to back, that's cool. But at this point, why not just throw a double disc out there, other than drowning out the previous effort?
Well,
I don't know, man.
Could that argument be made for the Nas and Hit Boy run?
No, because those are totally different efforts. And I guess that argument could have been made maybe for Magic 2 and Magic 3, because I do think Magic 3 drowned out Magic 2 in many aspects, in many respects. But I think the other efforts definitely were like, standalones in that sense. But those guys were on a roll. And, Metro and Future, they've just been talking about this album for a minute. Well, at least Metro has. I'll give Future credit. He didn't really say anything. And but I do believe in both of their ability to make great music, for what they do. I just hope they don't overhype it. And that's what it feels like is happening right now.
Well, I think it could be a good thing. I think if they execute right, this album and the second album they put out could be sort of like the new trend that we're seeing, right? MC producer.
Yeah, that's been going on for a minute now.
I like it. It could be a southern version of what Nas and Hip Boy were doing.
No, I think they could continue it on. And I know that Metro supposedly has that album with JID coming out too, which a lot of people are looking forward to hearing. I'm looking forward to hearing that as well. I think that what Metro might need to prove in this class is that he is an album maker in the way that, Hit Boy is, and to team up with these artists, that's the way to do it. Because, Metro got the hits, but in albums, he doesn't, have that, like, somebody like a Hit Boy does. So, but Hit Boy doesn't have Hit Boy got a lot of hits, but Metro got a whole lot of hits.
A lot of hits. Okay, so that was one album announcement last week, and then you had
Vultures 2.
Vultures 2.
I believe it when I hear it, man. That's another one. Like, I hope they don't pump fake on it. I hope that they actually put it out, and I hope it's good. Vultures got mixed reviews. Shoot, even on our last episode, very mixed reviews. Vultures is innovative in ways. but it's also lyrically a step back in some ways. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to hearing, what's coming from it. I think the more material Kanye puts out, and Ty Dolla $ign too, the better, because he needs to practice right now. I think he sounds like he's out of practice in a lot of ways. So
When you say out of practice, are you talking about from a rhyming standpoint, or what do you mean?
it's just putting out music, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell that he doesn't frequently, make music with the frequency he once, did. And I mean, that's natural. And I think when you stop doing something, you kind of lose aspects of it. I think he's really been focused on the fashion and not music per se.
Right. Well, he's got the Rollout. They had a show last night in Phoenix. He also has a show coming on in San Francisco, I think either this week or next week. He did announce on IG today that they may put the album on easy.com. It may not be available to streaming platforms. For $20 a pop, you can go to easy.com and purchase it. His daughter just announced that she's coming out with her album, Elementary School Dropout. So there's a lot of stuff coming on in the world of Kanye. I'm excited to hear it. I think I like Vultures 1. I thought it was one of his best works in a very long time. But I think it's hard for him to rap. I mean, he's got a lot of stuff going on, man. I mean,
He does.
He's 46, going on 47. He's dabbling in the fashion world. I don't know, man. I don't know. But hey, check this out. We forgot to say hit like and subscribe. Make sure you hit like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 25,000 followers. If we get to 25,000 followers, we will send out some cash. So we don't know how much that cash will be. It might be $20, might be $25, might be $250, could be $500. But if we get to 25,000 followers, so tell a friend. We got to get the numbers up so we can continue to have these conversations.
LeRoy Green. Yeah, let's get us some subscribers, LeRoy.
Matter of fact, on Wednesday, check out A2HH Live. We got a couple more topics before we call it a day. So we talked about, man, there's a lot of podcasts going on. Not only do you and Coop have your podcast, A2HH Live, there's a couple of them I like. I do like the Suge Knight joint, the Suge Knight podcast.
Love Suge Knight's podcast.
He just dropped another one. He's on Puffy. He's on Puffy a lot in this new podcast.
I got to listen to the newest episode. It's called One Life to Live.
One Life to Live. He was talking about Leslie Jones, and he was talking about how people act ignorant, and how we always get on TV and act ignorant. Like, he was giving an example that during the Olympics they had her do like play-by-play commentary, and she was like kind of bucking her eyes and talking about, oh, look at that. And he was like, well, how you got to get on TV act still? And Suge was like, man, that's crazy that we got to do that. Then he said, he ended the podcast saying, he said they waiting for Puffy in the jail.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. I don't like that either. But they say he waiting for him. He say, he got to pay for what he done. So,
well,
allegedly done.
Yeah, I got to check out his most recent episode. I mean, honestly, though, all jokes aside, like, Suge drops jewels. And I think that one of the things I do like about the podcast is the fact that so many people have been able to monetize off of their Suge Knight stories. It's only right that he's able to tell his side of these stories as well. Whether people think they're fabricated, whether people think they're whatever. I mean, people have made I won't say a career, but a lot of podcasters have made careers out of telling the Suge and Tupac stories. And so it's only fair that he gets the opportunity to tell his sides of things. 36 Chambers with the super chat says J. Cole is releasing the fall off this year, but Vultures 2 is going to be the real fall off if Ye's latest work is any indication of his future.
I mean, we need 36 Chambers to hop on, because I thought Vultures was a good album. I don't think it was as bad as 36 Chambers is saying.
Y'all could definitely have that debate. I don't know, man. I understand both sides of it. I mean, again, I lean to more of the innovative guys, but I do think that sometimes Kanye's just throwing things at the canvas too, Yeah. What was the other one that you were talking about? The Steve Stout conversation. Steve Stout had a really good conversation with Shay Shannon Sharp.
Uncle Shay. I thought it was a good conversation. I mean, Steve Stout.
He has a lot of knowledge.
Mike, you and I were talking about Steve Stout for a lot of years, and I enjoyed the interview. I mean, I was like, well, maybe my perception of Steve Stout has been wrong he talked about the Apple Music deal he did, and he talked about one of the things he said is like Shannon asked him why he didn't take credit for it, like why that wasn't that blasted. He did the Super Bowl Apple Music. He said, well, I'm just trying to get the deal done. It ain't about me. You know what I'm saying?
And that's what it's about, really.
He talked about Dame Dash. He talked about how Dame Dash how Jay and other folks kind of outgrew his business practices. I thought that was a good gem. He talked about Kanye crashing his wedding and taking the mic from Maxwell. I thought that was pretty funny. That Kanye has been doing that for a long while, for a long time.
Yes.
He talked about a lot. I mean, I thought the interview was dope. I thought Shay did a real good job. I like
how Shannon Sharp did a great job.
I like the format of it. It was kind of like James Corden. It was kind of like on the gun, on the move. It was a real dope interview. He also talked about Kobe. And he talked about Kobe, and I never really told folks this because I thought folks was gonna laugh at me. I always thought Kobe could rhyme. You know what I'm saying? I really thought I thought he could rhyme. Kobe, I mean, his rhymes weren't bad. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I don't really think he got a chance to flex his muscle. He said he used to be in a rap group. And you got to think, Kobe is an intelligent dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think he would have came across whack. I mean, he just had a different worldview. I think Kobe could have been a dope MC, man. I really do.
I mean, you know what? A person like Kobe, he could have been great at anything that he wanted to be great at. I don't think that rapping was that important to him. I think it was something that was important at the time because, I mean, look, his teammate was Shaq. He did come in the league saying that he wanted to be the NBA version of Will Smith. Yes, basketball was his gift, but I think if he would have really worked at the rap, he would have been better at it. But I mean, I don't think he was a natural, if you will. I think that he would have been able to make some serviceable records in that era. Because I feel like Peter Guns writing this stuff?
I don't know. I
feel like the Lord Tariq Peter Guns had something to do with some of Kobe's records. Am I tripping?
Because I think he was signed to Columbia at the time, right? And I think the Track Masters were behind it. And I think Lord Tariq and Peter Guns was over there as well. So maybe they did. But I think Kobe would have been, I think he could have made a record. I mean, Allen Iverson had a dope record. I mean, he says it was whack. He says it's now. He has to be politically correct. But I thought his record was dope.
Oh, no. That record was
40 bars is crazy.
Yeah, that record was dope.
That was a crazy record. But I think Kobe could have been good. I think Kobe could have been like, I don't know, man. I think Kobe could have been. I think he could have dropped a couple of joints that we would have liked. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for real. Talk this Pete Rock interview.
You want to talk about the Pete Rock joint? Okay, so let's get some context. Let's get some context. So we've been working on a new promotion that's coming out. It's a new contest for producers that we're working with a group, looking for some production talent. And we interviewed Pete Rock about a couple weeks ago in Nashville, Tennessee. And I think it was insightful. It's supposed to drop in a couple of weeks, but I think, honestly, we work with Mickey Fax. Mickey Fax collaborated with us on this with us, and it's a dope interview. Mike, what did you think? You saw it go down, and you kind of was there for the making of it. What did you think about?
I thought it was very insightful. Some things that and I done a lot of research. I was working with Mickey on actually putting the interview together, and I'd done a lot of research, in the background, on how it was going to come together, and there were a lot of things that I didn't know that he was talking about in the interview. So I was learning things in the interview, and I think it'd be very insightful for the people who are, viewing the interview for the first time, and also giving some jewels to some upcoming, producers, what he looks for in, upcoming production and just artists all together. Because to me, I think that we always talk about, kind of changing the course of hip hop, sonically or musically, and it all starts really with the producer. I mean, hip hop is centered around the DJ, but the DJ became the producer and then the DJ again. I mean, Pete Rock's a DJ as well. We were talking about DJ battles and things of that nature, but I think if we're going to further hip hop musically, we got to start with those creatives. We got to start with the producers and the DJs. And I think it's important to get that game from the guys who've done it and done it to that level, while also look for the next crop of guys who are going to take, these new sounds to the next level.
I agree, man.
And I think that's what this whole initiative is about. And I'm excited about, this whole rollout. So it should be really, really dope.
Yeah, and I think it's something
Shout
we're
out
doing.
to Pete and his people too, man, because they were really cool.
Yeah, shout out to Pete. That's what we're doing with According to Hip Hop. We're trying to not only be a great podcast forum, a great media company, we're trying to really find new artists. We talk about music a lot. I know Mike D and Coop talk about it every week, but we want to do our part to find the music, you know what I'm saying, the new sounds, and do that. So we're looking for producers to kind of provide their sounds, and we want to, we want to hear the next new wave. But Pete was dope, man. Pete was we chopped it up in Nashville. It was a real cool, good look. He'll be in Atlanta soon. We're gonna chop it up with him again. Mickey did a phenomenal job facilitating the conversation. We got other producers that we're gonna have lined up to speak to in the coming days. It's got a lot of surprises, but I think this Pete Rock interview is gonna be the biggest, one of his best interviews on YouTube. He really touched on a lot of different things. I saw some of the raw footage of it. It looks good. So that'll be coming your way in a couple of weeks. And I know, Mike, we got something else coming in a couple of weeks too. We got a producer, with March Madness coming up. We kind of want to take this producer thing and kind of look at producers.
Yeah. I know Coop and I were talking about ranking all-time producers, so I think we need to do go ahead and do producer tournament bracket. We're gonna do an all-time tournament bracket where the people are able to vote and get each producer going to the next rounds. We got 64 producers all time, and kind of seeded them in like a March Madness type of format, and got everybody in like these the individual brackets where they fit with some of their counterparts, and lining up their resumes and stuff too. Now, granted, we know that people like Premier, Dre, folks like that are probably going to be some of the last men standing. But what I'm more concerned about is seeing how we put together some level of a power ranking, within who's going from round to round, and some upsets, just like any March Madness. So that's coming in the upcoming weeks as well. So I think that, again, if we're going to be out here looking for the next sounds and the next waves of production and producers, it's important to be able to do history lessons while we're doing it, and talking to some of the people who did it and see where their mind was at when they made some of their biggest and best records.
I'm with that. I'm just going to say, hopefully in my bracket, I hope Pete comes through. I hope Pete goes far.
Oh, he will.
I hope Primo goes far. I hope Kanye goes far, or Ye goes far. Who else? Who else do I like?
The number one seeds. Okay, I don't want to reveal too much, but just know that Premier, Dre. That's all I'm gonna say right now. I'll lay the other two up.
So we may drop that later in this week. We're gonna drop it. We're gonna drop it later on this week, and you can go to Facebook, and you'll be able to chime in, leave comments, and we'll do a show. Mike and Coop will do a show. We'll do Mike Check Monday. We'll do a show about it, and I think it's gonna be dope. I really think it's gonna be dope.
Molly's in there, RZA's in there, Q-Tip's in there.
I think RZA might win it all, though. That's just me, though.
RZA gonna win it all. RZA's very loved. I got Alchemist in a bracket. I I guess people got to see the bracket before I actually explain it. So, when we reveal the bracket, I'll probably speak to it on A2HH Live or something like that, or here, depending on when we drop it. So I'll probably be both, because it's gonna be
it's gonna be a big thing. So we probably got to roll it out on multiple times. But
Mhm.
all right, well, we got one more thing before we go.
Okay.
Every Monday we do a movie review. We try to do a little something different. And this week we watched a movie on Tubi called The Lawnmower Man, and we want to give a review of this joint. I don't know if y'all saw it. I think it's on Prime right now. It's also on Tubi, but yeah, we're gonna do our Siskel and Ebert thing real quick for those who's old enough to know. We're gonna do a little 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up. But
Okay, all right.
Mike, what you
I
think
didn't
about
get a
the joint?
chance to see the whole movie, so I'm gonna let you take this one.
All right, The Lawnmower Man. I thought it was a dope film, man. Now, now when I say dope, it's a Tubi joint. So let's
Right.
be, it is what it is. But I thought it had an interesting twist. How far did you get along to, Mike?
I got maybe like 30 minutes in, man.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't because it wasn't good. I just got distracted. I had to do something else. But
Well, I want you to finish it up tonight, but I thought the joint was good. It has a plot twist that I actually didn't see coming. Normally on the Tubi movies, I can see things coming from a mile away. This one was a little
well,
different.
don't give away the plot. What do you give it? Like, what I'm saying, if you're rating it.
On a hood movie scale, I'm giving this joint a B+.
Why?
Because that plot twist.
Okay.
It was well written. It was well acted. I thought it was. I mean, the scene. I mean, it had some things in it. It was a really, really good. It was really well written and put together.
Really?
Has anybody seen this joint? I'm not the only one watching this.
Like said a solid 4.
A solid 4. I mean, The Lawnmower Man took me by surprise. I didn't see the plot twist coming, and it was really well acted.
Now I'm gonna be looking at it different. Okay.
Yeah, so next week I think we need to check out this one called The Marriage Pass. That's the next one.
Is that the one that Candy and her husband Todd did?
I don't know. I saw it pop up on Tubi and I was like, I'm gonna check this out. We need to review this joint.
The Tubi reviews. I love it.
Tubi reviews. But yeah, The Lawnmower Man, y'all check that out. I thought it was good. I don't know. I saw another movie too, Mike, on Netflix, a joint called Damsel. Damsel was a little different. It was what Drake's ex-girlfriend. Well, he says it's not his girl, but Millie Bobby Brown, the young girl from Stranger Things. I mean, she said they were friends. I mean, you know it is. But she's all grown up now, and she's in this movie called Damsel. It's Angela Bassett's in this joint.
Oh,
I thought it was pretty good. Check that out.
okay. I gotta check that out. You know what I'm saying? Since Stranger Things ain't on right now, it's something to watch with Elle in it.
So yeah, we do. Yeah, so yeah, Lawnmower Man, y'all check it out on Tubi on Prime. Next week, hit like and subscribe. What else we got, Mike? The Pete Rock interview is coming. Check out Mike D and Coop A2HH Live on Wednesdays.
Yes, sir.
Next week we'll have the link. We'll have the phone number. Call into the show on Mike Check Mondays, like my man did, LeRoy Green. Call in.
Shout out to LeRoy Green, man. Appreciate you checking.
I want people to check Mike on his asinine comments that he makes, especially that 50 MCs are better than Fat Joe.
I'll have the list.
So we want more people to call in. We got to get to 25,000 subscribers. We'll have a big party. Invite all our A2HH followers there. Mike D and Coop will do a live A2HH live podcast. Once we get to 25,000 followers, we invite you guys out. The producer contest is coming. What else, Mike? It's so much.
Be on the lookout for the Pete Rock interview. Look forward to it and in the tournament. So A2HH live Wednesday, and we're gonna see y'all then.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yep.